A big part of getting everything taken care of under the dash has been getting the air conditioning system sorted out. And it's been kind of a big deal getting this thing to work. And if it weren't for the fact that I had 2 or 3 other boxes out, it might have been a lot worse than it actually was. I didn't really have to go anywhere in order to get parts except for one thing, and we'll get into that later. Before we go any further, I'd like to mention that this wooden crutch that I mounted everything on was really, really valuable. This is on my dime because I got 2 other cars of my own that I need to do this with. And I tell you what, this has been just a real advantage to have this. We got a vacuum pump in order to drive the various actuators on the different functions of the system. We've got a heater valve here. We got a vacuum reservoir. We got the various controls. And by the way, well, as long as we're here, if I turn the temperature knob, I don't know if you can hear that, but there's that motor. What that does is it varies the temperature from hot to cold, coming from the upper air box here, which has the heater in it and the air conditioning evaporator. And if I go to this one right here, on this side and go to defrost, you can hear that motor right there run. If I can actually, there it is. That one's running. So we know that the motors run, we know that the switches work, and we know that the feedback sensors are working. Also, one thing that we can tell here is that this wire right here, this takes signal to the relay of the air conditioning compressor's clutch. And you can see when we turn this switch over here, that one right there, to on, we get that signal, which is what we need to kick the relay. And also this unit right here, which varies the temperature of the center vent, when we got it in high, we can hear that that works too. Another thing is this stuff right here. These, what look like wires, these are actually fiber optic cables. The way this works is that you've got these ends of the fiber optic cables that go into a housing in the center console, and there's a light that shines on it, and the light is conducted from this end to the other end, and this whole thing lights up. So let's plug the fans in and see what happens here. Okay, what we've got when it's set in the low position, this duct right here and this one right here go to the back of the car through the tunnel. This one right here is footwell, and we've got nothing coming through up here, but we do have a little bit over here. This is at low. Let's go to high. And all the way cold. And for this to really work, we need to turn on the vacuum pump. Hopefully you can hear me. And so what's happening here is we've got our defrost vents closed, and we've got a cowl vents that draw air into the fan motors from the cowl, from outside air. We've got those closing, and we've got the ones in the bottom opening. And what this does is it causes the air to be drawn in here from the footwell, which is going to be cooler than that outside. And this thing closes off up here on both sides. This is the early rendition of recirculation cooling. And you can also see at that point that we got air coming out of this vent right here. And we got a lot of air coming out of a lot more air coming out of the footwell and also underneath here. So, and then let's say that we want to do defrost. We got the defrost vents up here. We go to the defrost function of the control, and we can see that these things open. So there we go. It's ready to go in the car. Now, everything that I just did was in manual mode. You pull this thing out and you can adjust it, set it to whatever temperature. If you want to put it on automatic mode, then you set a temperature and it will automatically maintain that. Out here, you got to move it around until you get the temperature, you know, the way you want it to be. Here, it's taken care of automatically. In automatic mode, we got this sensor right here that's soldered to the bottom of one of the heater core tubes, which senses coolant temperature. We've got this one right here, which fits in the side of the evaporator case, which senses the temperature at the evaporator. We've also got inside of one of these fans here, we've got a ambient or outside air temperature sensor, and then right here we've got a cabin temperature sensor that takes air from this fan on this side, brings it over the top here, blasts it through a venturi where it sucks in air, which draws it over the sensing element. I've got no way of actually testing these without putting this in the car and giving it a shot after you get the engine running and the system charged. But we do have a manual here that is really, really detailed on how to troubleshoot this system. That's the electronic control module right there, and you can see right here all these pins sticking out. Well, nothing goes to those pins. We actually use those pins to test this thing out. We can test the ECM, and we can also test all the sensors using that. So that's real interesting. So things are moving along. Oh, one other thing is the only thing that we really found that was bad was on the bottom. Don't know if you can see them. No, you can't. Have to look in there. We got these vacuum solenoids. We had one of those that wasn't working properly that we had to go to one of the other boxes for. And also this switch here I had to actually pull out of my car, one of my cars. Got one coming, but in the interest of keeping this thing going, the problem was that this thing, it worked, but it actually rotated 360 degrees. It felt like, I mean, clearly it was broken. There's a stop missing, so we got one that really works very well. Yeah, there it is. And this is getting ready to be put in the car when Tony gets back from his spring break in San Francisco. So we're making good progress.